Money is a powerful tool, but only in the hands of a person who understands its purpose. Many people work hard, dream big, and plan for a better life, yet they still struggle financially because they fall into certain spending traps that silently steal their progress. Money itself is not the problem. The problem begins when emotions, habits, and impulsive decisions take control. When we fail to manage money, money begins to manage us. True freedom comes when we learn to identify the traps that drain our resources and weaken our future. Money has always played an important role in shaping the direction of a person's life, but how we use it determines whether it becomes a source of strength or a source of stress. Many people believe that earning more money automatically brings financial peace, but the truth is that peace comes from managing money wisely. Even those who earn a good income often find themselves trapped because they are caught in patterns of spending they do not even recognize. These spending traps operate silently in the background, slowly draining financial strength and preventing progress. To live with stability and purpose, we must be aware of the traps that quietly steal from our future. One of the biggest traps is emotional spending. Human beings naturally experience stress, anxiety, loneliness, and sometimes even boredom. In these moments, spending money feels like a quick escape, a momentary relief from emotional discomfort. A person may buy things not because they need them, but because they want to feel better for a moment. Whether it is food, entertainment, unnecessary shopping, or online purchases, emotional spending offers temporary comfort but long-term regret. It becomes a habit that drains financial resources without solving the emotional issue that caused it. When we learn to recognize our emotional triggers and pause before spending, we begin to regain control over our financial decisions. Another trap that catches many people is lifestyle inflation. Each time income increases, many individuals feel the urge to upgrade their lifestyle immediately. New phone, new clothes, more outings, or more expensive activities. While celebrating progress is good, constantly raising expenses makes it impossible to grow financially. Lifestyle inflation keeps people stuck in a cycle where no matter how much they earn, their bank balance never improves. True financial wisdom teaches that when income increases, savings and investments should increase first, not expenses. Discipline in moments of growth creates a future where wealth can multiply rather than disappear. Impulse buying is another challenge that modern life constantly throws at us. We live in an age of advertisements, social media influence, online sales, and constant promotions. These things are carefully designed to convince us that we need something we never planned to buy. The excitement of a limited time offer or a flashy discount creates pressure to buy instantly. Yet, most impulse purchases bring little value and often end up unused. One simple rule can protect us. If something was not part of our plan, we should not buy it immediately. Waiting even 24 hours can reduce unnecessary purchases because the excitement fades and clarity returns. Self-control in these moments builds a healthier financial life. Debt dependency is another trap that harms countless people. Modern convenience makes it easy to borrow money, credit cards, installment plans, personal loans, and quick financing options make buying now and paying later seem normal. But behind this convenience lies a dangerous reality. Debt steals from future earnings. Every installment reduces future freedom. Over time, debt becomes a weight that slows progress, causes stress, and creates a feeling of being stuck. Living within one's means is not a sign of limitation. It is a sign of maturity and wisdom. When we learn to delay gratification and plan our purchases, we protect our future from unnecessary financial pressure. Another trap, often ignored because of its small size, is the impact of minor daily expenses. Little purchases such as snacks, unnecessary subscriptions, small online items, random fees, or unplanned outings may seem harmless. But when added up over weeks and months, they become a significant financial leak. Just as small drops can fill a bucket, small leaks can empty it. Awareness is the key here. When we track our spending, even for a short period, we notice patterns we never realized existed. This awareness gives power, the power to adjust, reduce, and eliminate habits that weaken financial strength. Money, when handled with wisdom, becomes a tool that builds families, strengthens futures, and brings peace. But when handled carelessly, it becomes a trap that takes away progress, dreams, and stability. Recognizing the 5 major spending traps: emotional spending, lifestyle inflation, impulse buying, debt dependency, and unnoticed small expenses, helps us take back control. Each time we overcome a trap, we step closer to financial clarity and freedom. With discipline, mindfulness, and self-awareness, we can use money in a way that supports our purpose rather than undermines it. Money should serve us, not rule us, and understanding these traps is the first step toward a life of confidence, stability, and financial strength. Money is one of the greatest responsibilities placed in our hands. It can open doors, create opportunities, support families, and turn dreams into reality. But the same money, when mismanaged, can become a source of stress, regret, and constant worry. Many people wish for a better future, a comfortable life, and financial stability, yet they unknowingly fall into hidden spending traps that stand between them and their goals. These traps are often subtle, disguised as innocent habits or temporary choices, but with time they grow into patterns that weaken financial health. To build a strong financial foundation, it is important to recognize these traps and understand how they influence our daily decisions. One of the most common traps is using money to satisfy temporary emotions. When life becomes overwhelming, when challenges pile up, or when loneliness hits, many people turn to spending as a quick escape. Shopping, eating out, buying gadgets, or ordering things online can create a moment of excitement or relief, but this relief fades quickly. What remains is the empty feeling of regret and the realization that money has been wasted. Emotional spending is powerful because it targets the heart instead of the mind. Recognizing this trap means learning to pause, breathe, and question whether a purchase is truly needed or simply a reaction to a feeling that will pass. Another spending trap is the silent pressure to live up to the standards of others. In a world influenced by social media, everyone is constantly exposed to someone else's lifestyle: new cars, vacations, fancy meals, branded items, and luxurious experiences. This comparison leads many people to increase their spending just to keep up, even when it is not necessary or affordable. Lifestyle inflation begins quietly, almost unnoticed, and before long, expenses grow faster than income. The desire to impress others steals the ability to build savings, invest wisely, or plan for the future. A financially strong person understands that living simply today builds a stronger tomorrow. Impulse buying is also a major barrier to financial success. Every day, people encounter countless advertisements that are designed to trigger quick, unplanned purchases. Whether it's a limited time offer, a buy one, get one free, or an online sale, companies use psychological tricks to make buying feel urgent. But urgency is often an illusion. Most things bought on impulse provide very little value and quickly become unnecessary clutter. Making a habit of waiting before buying, sometimes even for a single day, creates space for clearer thinking. It gives time to determine whether the purchase aligns with actual needs or is simply a moment of excitement. Debt is another trap that many people fall into without realizing its long-term impact. Loans, credit cards, and installment plans offer the convenience of getting things immediately, but the cost is paid gradually through interest and monthly payments. This turns into a cycle where future income is already committed before it even arrives. Debt feels easy in the beginning, but heavy over time. It creates pressure, limits choices, and reduces financial freedom. True financial strength comes from the ability to control desires, make thoughtful plans, and avoid unnecessary borrowing. When a person learns to delay certain wants, they gain the power to protect their future. A final trap comes from underestimating the impact of small, daily expenses. People often overlook the money spent on small snacks, subscriptions, or repeated minor purchases, believing that such tiny amounts do not matter. But these small amounts accumulate silently. At the end of the month, they form a large sum that could have been saved, invested, or used for something meaningful. Tracking daily expenses, even for a short time, reveals surprising patterns. It shines a light on habits that quietly weaken financial strength and gives a person the opportunity to redirect their money with greater intention. Money, when handled with awareness, becomes a supportive partner in life. But when spent without thought, it becomes a barrier to progress. Recognizing emotional spending, resisting social pressure, avoiding impulse purchases, staying away from unnecessary debt, and paying attention to small expenses creates a lifestyle of stability and confidence. These changes require patience and practice, but with every wise decision, a person moves one step closer to financial freedom. Money should amplify your purpose, not distract you from it, and avoiding these traps allows you to use it as a tool for building a stronger, healthier, and more secure future. Money is often seen as a reward for hard work, a tool for comfort, or a symbol of success. Yet, for many people, money brings more stress than joy because they fall into spending habits that are subtle but powerful. These habits can slowly erode savings, create debt, and prevent long-term growth. The truth is that money itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad, but the way we handle it defines its impact on our lives. Understanding the hidden spending traps that affect everyday decisions is essential for anyone who wishes to achieve financial security, stability, and peace of mind. One of the most common traps is emotional spending. Human emotions are unpredictable. Stress, sadness, frustration, or even boredom can drive people to seek comfort in buying things they do not need. A quick shopping spree, a fancy meal, or a new gadget may bring temporary relief, but the feeling fades quickly, leaving behind regret and depleted funds. Emotional spending is particularly dangerous because it often goes unnoticed until the financial consequences become serious. Learning to pause before making purchases and asking whether the item is truly necessary helps break this pattern. Over time, this simple act of mindfulness can save thousands of rupees and reduce unnecessary stress. Lifestyle inflation is another subtle trap that affects people as their income grows. Many individuals increase their spending as soon as they earn more money. They upgrade phones, buy new cars, or move into bigger homes, believing these changes are signs of progress. While enjoying rewards is natural, lifestyle inflation prevents wealth from growing because expenses rise at the same rate as income. People become trapped in a cycle of earning more but saving little. True financial wisdom comes from prioritizing savings and investments over immediate gratification. By controlling lifestyle inflation, a person can enjoy a higher income while simultaneously building a secure future. Impulse buying is also a major challenge in today's world. Everywhere we look, social media, advertisements, online stores, there are invitations to buy something now. Flash sales, limited time discounts, and influencer promotions create urgency that convinces people to act quickly, often without thinking. Impulse purchases rarely meet real needs and often become clutter or unused items. Developing the habit of delaying purchases by even a single day can create mental clarity and prevent unnecessary spending. This simple rule protects both money and peace of mind, giving control back to the individual rather than to marketing pressures. Debt is another trap that silently consumes financial potential. Credit cards, easy installments, personal loans, and online financing options allow people to obtain what they want immediately. But the cost comes over time. Interest rates, late fees, and long repayment schedules make debt far more expensive than it initially appears. Many people become dependent on borrowing, believing it is a normal part of life, yet debt steals freedom and reduces future opportunities. Avoiding unnecessary debt and learning to live within one's means allows income to serve as a tool for growth rather than a chain that limits possibilities. Discipline and delayed gratification are key to building lasting financial strength. Small, unnoticed expenses also create a hidden trap. Daily purchases such as snacks, coffee, online subscriptions, or minor items may seem insignificant individually, but collectively they form a substantial financial drain. Many people fail to track these small expenses, unaware that they are slowly eroding savings. Tracking spending for a month or two can reveal surprising patterns and highlight areas where money can be redirected toward more meaningful purposes. Awareness of even small leaks gives power to make informed decisions, enabling a person to use their resources efficiently and intentionally. By recognizing these 5 traps: emotional spending, lifestyle inflation, impulse buying, debt dependency, and small unnoticed expenses, a person gains control over their financial life. Money becomes a tool rather than a burden, supporting goals instead of causing stress. Every small act of discipline, awareness, and planning contributes to long-term freedom and peace. Understanding these patterns, making thoughtful choices, and resisting short-term temptations can transform not only finances but the entire approach to life. With careful use of money, a person can build a future of stability, opportunity, and confidence, turning financial management into a source of empowerment rather than struggle. Money is a tool, a resource, and a responsibility, yet many people fail to realize its true potential because they fall into common spending traps. These traps are subtle, often hidden behind habits, emotions, or social pressures, and they quietly drain financial strength. Earning more money does not automatically create wealth. It is how we manage what we have that determines whether we thrive or struggle. By understanding the patterns that cause unnecessary spending, a person can take control of their finances and make money a servant to their goals rather than a master over their life. One of the most frequent traps people face is emotional spending. Emotions like stress, sadness, anxiety, or boredom often lead to unplanned purchases. Shopping, eating out, or buying things online provides a temporary relief, a fleeting feeling of joy or satisfaction, but it never addresses the root of the emotional issue. Instead, it drains resources and can create feelings of regret or guilt. Emotional spending is a subtle force because it appeals to the heart rather than the mind. Developing awareness and asking oneself whether a purchase is truly necessary helps break this cycle. Learning to respond to emotions without using money as a solution builds both financial and personal strength. Another trap is lifestyle inflation, which occurs when people increase spending as their income rises. Many believe that higher earnings automatically justify new phones, cars, clothes, or entertainment habits. The problem is that as expenses grow to match income, savings rarely improve, and true financial growth remains elusive. People become trapped in a cycle of spending more as they earn more, without building lasting wealth. Financial wisdom teaches that income growth should first strengthen savings and investments, not fuel unnecessary desires. Resisting the urge to inflate one's lifestyle allows money to work for the future instead of being used up immediately. Impulse buying is also a common pitfall in modern life. Social media, advertisements, and online promotions constantly encourage instant purchases. Flash sales, limited time offers, and influencer recommendations create a sense of urgency, making people act without thinking. Most of these purchases do not satisfy real needs and often go unused or forgotten. One of the simplest ways to prevent impulse buying is to delay a purchase by at least a day. This pause allows clarity, reduces emotional excitement, and helps determine whether the item is truly necessary. With self-control, a person can protect both money and mental peace. Debt is another trap that can quietly undermine financial freedom. Loans, credit cards, and installment plans provide immediate access to desired items, but they come at a cost. Interest, fees, and long-term repayment obligations make debt a burden that reduces future choices. Many people rely on borrowed money without realizing it limits their financial freedom and creates stress. Avoiding unnecessary debt and learning to live within one's means allows income to be used for growth, savings, and investments rather than repayment. Discipline in managing desires today protects the financial future tomorrow. Small, unnoticed expenses are a fifth trap that often goes unrecognized. Daily costs such as snacks, subscriptions, online purchases, and minor fees may seem insignificant individually, but over time they add up to a substantial drain on finances. Tracking these small expenditures helps reveal patterns that are silently weakening financial health. Awareness of these minor leaks provides the opportunity to redirect funds toward meaningful goals and priorities. Over time, controlling small expenses builds habits of discipline, awareness, and intentional use of money. By understanding these 5 traps: emotional spending, lifestyle inflation, impulse buying, debt dependency, and small unnoticed expenses, a person can take control of their financial life. Money stops being a source of stress and becomes a tool for stability, growth, and opportunity. Small, consistent changes in how money is managed create compounding effects over time. Developing discipline, awareness, and intentionality allows individuals to use their resources effectively, protect their future, and achieve a level of financial confidence and peace. Recognizing these patterns and making deliberate choices turns money into a servant for one's goals rather than a master that dictates life. Every mindful decision strengthens financial independence and creates a foundation for long-term prosperity and security. Money is a powerful resource that can open doors, provide opportunities, and create security. Yet many people struggle because they unknowingly fall into spending traps that limit their progress. These traps are often subtle, disguised as harmless habits or temporary choices, but they quietly erode financial stability over time. The challenge is that earning more money alone does not solve the problem. Without awareness and discipline, even high income can vanish quickly. True financial growth comes from understanding these traps and learning to manage money intentionally, ensuring that every decision supports long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. One of the most common traps is emotional spending. Life naturally brings stress, sadness, boredom, or anxiety, and many people turn to shopping or other purchases for comfort. Buying items for temporary pleasure may create a fleeting sense of satisfaction, but it does not solve emotional challenges and often leads to regret. Emotional spending is dangerous because it bypasses rational thinking, making people spend unconsciously. By learning to recognize emotional triggers and pausing before purchasing, individuals can prevent money from being wasted and develop healthier ways to cope with emotions, preserving both financial resources and peace of mind. Lifestyle inflation is another trap that affects many people, particularly as income grows. With every raise or bonus, there is a tendency to upgrade one's lifestyle immediately. New gadgets, bigger homes, luxury clothes, or more frequent outings. While enjoying rewards for hard work is natural, lifestyle inflation prevents wealth from accumulating because expenses rise in parallel with income. People may feel financially comfortable, yet their savings and investments remain minimal. Financial wisdom lies in prioritizing growth over immediate comfort, saving and investing first before increasing expenses. By resisting the urge to inflate one's lifestyle, money becomes a tool for future stability rather than a fleeting source of pleasure. Impulse buying is also a major challenge in today's world. Everywhere we turn, advertisements, social media, and online platforms create opportunities to spend without planning. Flash sales, limited time offers, and influencer promotions generate a sense of urgency that tempts people to buy immediately. Most of these purchases are unnecessary, providing little real value, and are often forgotten soon after. One effective strategy to combat this trap is to implement a waiting period before buying anything unplanned. Even a single day's pause allows the mind to evaluate whether the purchase is truly necessary, reducing wasteful spending and increasing financial control. Debt is another trap that silently consumes resources and restricts freedom. Credit cards, loans, and installment plans make it easy to acquire what we want immediately, but they come with interest, fees, and long-term repayment obligations. Many people rely on borrowed money for daily life or non-essential purchases, unaware that debt limits future options and adds stress. Financial independence requires living within one's means and avoiding unnecessary borrowing. Choosing to delay gratification and plan purchases within one's budget strengthens long-term stability and allows income to support growth rather than debt repayment. Small, unnoticed expenses are a fifth trap that can quietly add up. Daily purchases such as snacks, subscriptions, minor online items, or random fees may seem insignificant individually, but they accumulate over weeks and months to form a substantial drain on finances. Many people do not track these small costs and remain unaware of how much money is being lost. Monitoring everyday spending reveals patterns that can be adjusted, allowing individuals to redirect funds towards savings, investments, or meaningful priorities. Even minor changes in daily habits can have a significant long-term impact when consistently applied over time. Understanding and addressing these 5 spending traps: emotional spending, Lifestyle inflation, impulse buying, debt dependency, and small unnoticed expenses empowers individuals to take control of their finances. Money transforms from a source of stress into a tool for growth, security, and freedom. With discipline, awareness, and intentional decision making, every rupee can be directed towards supporting long-term goals rather than fleeting desires. Building good financial habits over time strengthens confidence, reduces anxiety, and creates a foundation for a prosperous future. Recognizing these traps and acting wisely allows money to serve one's purpose, enabling a life of stability, opportunity, and lasting financial peace. Money is a vital resource that can provide security, freedom, and opportunity, yet many people struggle to use it wisely because they fall into common spending traps. These traps are often subtle, disguised as harmless habits or small choices, but they gradually drain resources and prevent financial growth. Earning more money alone does not create wealth. Without discipline and awareness, even a large income can disappear quickly. True financial strength comes from understanding these traps and learning to make intentional decisions that support long-term goals rather than short-term desires. Recognizing the patterns that lead to unnecessary spending is the first step toward financial freedom. One of the most prevalent traps is emotional spending. Human beings naturally experience stress, sadness, frustration, or boredom, and it is easy to seek comfort through purchases. Shopping, eating out, or buying gadgets can provide temporary relief, creating a fleeting sense of happiness, but it does not solve the underlying emotional problem. Emotional spending is particularly dangerous because it bypasses rational thinking and leads to unconscious financial loss. By learning to pause before making purchases and asking whether an item is truly needed, individuals can break this pattern. Finding alternative ways to cope with emotions through exercise, hobbies, or reflection strengthens both financial habits and emotional well-being. Lifestyle inflation is another trap that quietly affects people as their income increases. Many individuals feel compelled to upgrade their lifestyle whenever they receive a raise, bonus, or promotion. They may buy a new phone, drive a nicer car, or spend more on dining and entertainment. While it is natural to enjoy the fruits of one's labor, constantly increasing expenses prevents real wealth accumulation. The cycle of spending more as you earn more keeps people stuck, with little left for saving or investing. True financial wisdom involves prioritizing savings and long-term investments over immediate gratification. Controlling lifestyle inflation ensures that growth in income translates into growth in security, stability, and opportunity. Impulse buying is another challenge in the modern world. Social media, advertisements, and online platforms constantly tempt people to make spontaneous purchases. Flash sales, limited time offers, and influencer promotions create urgency, prompting decisions without careful thought. Most impulse purchases do not satisfy real needs and often become unused items or clutter. A practical way to overcome this trap is to delay purchases by at least a day. This brief pause allows time to evaluate necessity, reduce emotional influence, and make deliberate choices. Self-control in the face of marketing pressure strengthens financial discipline and ensures that money is used intentionally. Debt is a fourth trap that can silently consume resources and limit freedom. Credit cards, personal loans, and installment plans make it easy to acquire desired items immediately, but they come with interest, fees, and repayment obligations that can extend for months or years. Many people fall into the habit of relying on borrowed money for both essential and non-essential purchases, often without realizing the long-term burden it creates. Debt restricts choices, reduces financial security, and adds stress to everyday life. Learning to live within one's means and delaying purchases until they can be afforded without borrowing is a critical step toward financial independence and long-term stability. Small, unnoticed expenses are a fifth trap that can slowly erode financial resources. Daily costs such as snacks, beverages, subscriptions, or minor online purchases may seem insignificant individually, but they accumulate over time into a substantial drain. Many people fail to track these small expenditures and remain unaware of their impact. By monitoring daily spending and identifying areas of unnecessary expenditure, individuals can redirect money toward meaningful goals such as savings, investments, or debt repayment. Awareness and careful management of small expenses build the habit of financial responsibility, which compounds over time to create significant results. Understanding and addressing these 5 spending traps: emotional spending, lifestyle inflation, impulse buying, debt dependency, and small unnoticed expenses, empowers individuals to take control of their financial life. Money transforms from a source of stress into a tool that enables security, growth, and opportunity. Each deliberate, mindful decision reinforces long-term stability and reduces unnecessary anxiety. With discipline, self-awareness, and intentional planning, individuals can ensure that their money supports their purpose rather than controls them. Avoiding these traps allows resources to be used wisely, creating a foundation for lasting prosperity, freedom, and financial peace.